You're listening to the Marriage Clinic podcast, a podcast on love, marriage, and personal development. Our purpose is to inspire and equip you with knowledge and skills to enable you have lasting and fulfilling relationships. Now, your host, Joshua Margaret.
Good evening. Welcome to the Marriage Clinic. Not too sure what time it is where you are. It's 8 p.m. here in Ghana, and maybe you can just put in the chat what time it is that you're watching this Marriage Clinic show. Bringing you this podcast, my name is Joshua Mogri, and today we have episode 7. Wow, I'm amazed that we are already at episode 7, and this one promises to be something else. For the next 4 episodes, we are going to be talking about breakups. Breakups. Yes, I wish I had some sad violin music to play along with this month's one. It's breakups. So once again, you're watching or listening. Some of you are watching and some of you are listening to the Marriage Podcast, a podcast on love, marriage, and personal development. My purpose here today is to inspire and equip you with knowledge and skills to enable you have a lasting and fulfilling relationship. Let's go. Share this if you're watching this on Facebook or wherever, could you kindly share this with a couple of friends and tell them that Joshua Mogri is on and it's time for them to listen to the Marriage Clinic. Great. You can follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and YouTube. Just look for Dr. Joshua Mogri. Dr. Joshua Mogri. The Mogri is spelled M-O-G-R-E. M-O-G-R-E. So please do follow on all these platforms. Turn on notifications, follow, and whenever we are on, you can find good material. If you follow us on the socials, we don't only put out audio and video, we also put out some written and inspiring stuff that is going to make you enjoy your relationships. So today, I'm starting something with this 7th podcast. 7 is a number I really like, and I'm starting with the verse for the week. Verse for the week. And the verse for this week comes from Psalm 46, verse 1. Psalm 46, verse 1, and it says, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in times of trouble. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in our times of trouble. So let's go. So over the next 4 weeks, I'm handling breakups, when relationships come to an end, necessary endings. And I want to run you through what we'll do. We're going to look at the 7 benefits of a breakup. 7 benefits of a breakup. Yes, breakups are not always bad, so there are some benefits. 10 signs that confirm you must break up. So next week, I'm going to tell you 10 things that when you see, they should be confirming to you that it's probably time that I get out of this relationship. Then I'm going to talk in the 3rd week from now, that would be episode 10, I'm going to talk about the clean break, how to end the relationship nicely, the best you can. Then in the last week of this series, I'm going to talk about how to recover from a broken heart. So trust me, this is going to be awesome, and you really need to get more people to watch this. If you have a friend who's gone through a painful breakup, please, by all means, reach out to the friend and say, hey, please listen to Josh Mogri on the Marriage Clinic podcast. There's enough there to help you. So let's jump right in. 7 benefits of a breakup. Let's go. Before I start giving you the 7, let me just mention to you these things. As I'm talking about breakups, I'm not talking about divorce. Please don't get me wrong. Don't be a married person in there and say, okay, he said these are the 7 reasons I should get divorced. I'm not talking about divorce. I am talking simply about when you are in a premarital relationship where you want to get married, or you're studying each other to see if you can get married, and when it is time to exit. Remember, if you are in any relationship today, remember that 85% of all relationships end up in a breakup. 85. Let that number sink in. 8 and 5. 85% of all relationships end in a breakup. So whatever relationship you are in, recognize that there's only a 25% chance that you're going to marry the person that you are with. And I hope you beat the odds. When you are in a relationship, remember never to give more than you are willing to lose. I say this all the time. Don't sacrifice what you are not willing to lose. Whatever you are doing in a relationship, ask yourself, should this relationship end today? Am I going to be found to be the fool? I'm not saying don't love. I'm not saying don't give things, don't sacrifice, but don't make commitments and don't sacrifice things that you know you can't afford to lose. Because a relationship is just a relationship, and at any time, people can back out of the relationship. It could be you, or it could be your partner that you're with who turns around and says, you know what? I don't think this relationship is for me. So remembering, since 85% of relationships end in a breakup, we are not going to invest more than we are willing to lose into the relationship. That means you don't make critical sacrifices for a relationship that has not yet become a marriage. When you are in a marriage, you sacrifice everything for the marriage, you give a marriage your best. But as long as it is a relationship, you need to be careful about what you are willing to do. Yes, my dear sister, I know you are in love. I know he said he's going to marry you, but he probably has said same to someone else. And yes, my brother, yes, she seems like the one the angel sent from heaven, but sometimes angel, you may want to find out where she was sent from. So please be careful about how you handle relationships. Then we have, remember that whenever you are transitioning in life or in a relationship, it sometimes triggers a breakup. One thing that always used to happen, I live in Ghana, West Africa, and one thing that used to happen is when I used to be in college or university, people would date for maybe 3 years or 2 years or 4 years, and we would call them the lovebirds. I nearly mentioned some names, but they may be watching. But what happens is that the moment they transition from being students into being national service persons, that's the 1 year you have to serve your country in Ghana, the relationship didn't survive. So sometimes relationships are great till one person travels out of the country. Relationships are great till both of you start working. So remember that whenever there's a transition in a relationship, there's the likelihood that the pressure of transition could make you want to break up. So do be careful. And let me just put it this way. Don't take premarital relationships too serious. I know you are in love, but trust me. I was talking to someone recently who has come out of a relationship and she's in pain. She feels like her life is over. And I was telling her, I know it hurts now, but a time is going to come in a couple of months and a couple of years that you are going to go for weeks or months and not even think about the person. So don't take premarital relationships too seriously, especially when you haven't begun the whole process of courtship and knocking and all those things. When it gets there, it's getting much more serious. But while it's just a relationship, remember it is a relationship. So I'm coming to the 7 benefits. Benefit number 1, it will spare you bigger heartache in the future. Sometimes the good thing about an ended relationship is that it's a small pain compared to a bigger pain that you would have had in the future. I don't know. This has happened to me. And have you ever met your ex and asked yourself, what was I thinking? Have you ever met someone you once dated or someone you were crazily in love with, and now you're looking at the person, you're like, what at all was it about this person I was so crazy about? That's the thing. Sometimes you realize that you actually dodged a bullet. What you thought was pain, what you thought was confusion, actually was God saving you and life saving you. So it may not feel like it, but a breakup is less painful. Now remember this. A breakup is less painful, less expensive, less embarrassing, less in duration, and add all the other things than a divorce. So I would much rather you break up. 10 times and be spared a divorce and get into the right relationship than because you don't want the pain of a breakup, you get into a marriage that ends up in divorce. So sometimes you have to break up and it is a good thing. So the first reason or the first thing we look at is that it may be sparing you from bigger heartaches in the future. Number two, breakups give you time to reevaluate your life. Breakups give you time to reevaluate your life. There's something about pain. We don't like pain, but we learn so much from pain. Let me use a personal example. This is several years ago. I got into a breakup, and right after the breakup, I had to ask myself, I said, this is my fourth major breakup. Yeah, some of you are looking at me like, four, really? Hey, yes, that was my fourth major breakup, and I'm not telling how many minors I had, but that was like my that was my fourth major breakup. And as I sat down, I remember I was talking to a friend, Faisal, and he was like, this can't keep happening. So as I was sitting down and I was thinking about my life, I asked myself, now this is the mistake a lot of people make when they come out of a breakup. They immediately think to what was wrong with the other person. And I had done that 3 times. 3 times I looked at what the other person did wrong and I was sure I was right. But this time I told myself, I'm tired of this pain. I don't want this to happen again. So what did I do wrong? Reevaluation. Breakups give you time for reevaluation. And as I began to look at what I had done wrong, I now began to tell myself where I was going to improve. I couldn't affect the other person who had left me or I left them. I can neither confirm nor deny which one had happened. But what I can say is that after that breakup, I studied, I looked for books, I found myself, I got involved with the right things. And as I read around the subject, I kept seeing what I was doing wrongly. And when I finally got married, that re-evaluation process was what spurred me on in my first book, which is Secrets to Love and Getting Married. You can find it on Amazon and other places where books are sold. So number 2 is that breakups give you time to reevaluate your life, your entire life, what you are doing, where you are heading. Remember, it's said in Ecclesiastes that it is better to go to the house of mourning than to the house of feasting. Pain teaches us wisdom. So number 2, breakups give you time to reevaluate your life. Remember, this is the Marriage Clinic podcast. We come to you every Thursday at 8 p.m. GMT, broadcasting from Ghana. Please pause this right now and share it wherever you are listening to. Copy the link, put it in your WhatsApp groups, put it in your Telegram groups, put it on your status, share it on your stories. But please do share this. More people need to hear this. So we come to number 3. Number 3. What is the third benefit of a breakup? It will allow you to be more independent. Especially if you've been in a very long relationships where he picks you up when you close from work, he comes to drop you at the office, or she's preparing meals and bringing it over to your place, hopefully not preparing it in your place, but bringing it over to your place. Or anytime you don't manage your finances well, she's available to give you a soft loan. You become dependent, and sometimes that codependence is not the best. So what happens is when you go through a breakup, you suddenly realize that you have so much time. All of a sudden, because whoever you were with was taking a big chunk of your time, and now all of a sudden you have so much time. And this allows you to begin to rediscover your independence. Rediscover your independence, because some of you out there, you are what I like to call professional daters. You can't be out of a relationship for more than 2 weeks. So by the time you realize that this relationship is not working out, you are already starting to chat with that guy in the office who has been smiling for a while. So you just Tarzan. You remember Tarzan jumping from one tree to another? You just jump from one relationship into the next relationship with no time for evaluation, no time to be independent, no time to learn lessons. It's wrong. If you're watching this and that's your habit, please stop. That probably is why you are just 22 and you have 11 exes. I mean, for heaven's sake, for some of you, the number of exes you had, if it were to be an Olympic sport, you'd be a gold medalist. Yes, I came to you with that one. So, so I mean, that's just some pun in there, but please, it will allow you to be more independent. Learn to be independent. Learn to do things on your own. Some of you ladies cannot fix a problem on your phone without your ex-boyfriend. And if you don't learn to be independent, you keep calling the person back into your life to either buy LPG gas for you or help fix your TV or send your car to the mechanic or whatever. Learn to be independent. It gives you an opportunity to learn to be independent. Great, we need to keep going. Number 4. Are you ready for number 4? If you're ready for number 4, please put number 4 in the chat. Wherever you're watching it, unless you're listening to it on the podcast platforms. If you're watching it on any of the socials, please put number 4 in the chat there right now. I'm giving you a moment. Put number 4 in the chat. Great. It will encourage you to be more social. It will encourage you to be more social. Here's the thing. Now, let me give you a little bit of advice. Until you are married, now this is like your big brother giving you advice. Until the man or the woman has taken you to the altar and you are married, don't cut off all your friends. Sometimes what happens in toxic or insecure relationships is he doesn't want you to have any other male friends, or she doesn't want you to have any other female friends. Every female friend you chat with, she says she wants you. Are you cheating with her? That's a toxic relationship. A good relationship is one where there is freedom for you to have friends of the opposite sex in a very safe place and with boundaries. I'm married. I've been married for 10 years and I still have a lot of female friends. Friends that I chat with, friends that my wife knows, friends that, I mean, I'm not hiding my phone or my chats from my wife, but for you to be a sane person, you still have to have enough relationships with different kinds of people. Because remember, one person cannot meet all your emotional needs. I didn't say sexual needs, emotional needs. So yeah, young man, look at me properly. I didn't say sexual needs. Yeah, it's you. Yeah, the one I'm talking to. I didn't say sexual needs. I said one person cannot meet all your emotional needs. So you need different friends. You need friends that you can work out with. You need friends that you can do school stuff with. You need friends that will be there when there's a problem. And you need a couple of friends who can help you fight when it comes to it. But you do need different kinds of friends. Now, what a breakup does is that it encourages you to be more social. You are no longer focused on one person. You are able to interact with so many other people. Never keep yourself in a relationship where the person tries to cut you off from all your friends. When a breakup happens, one of the benefits is that you are able to join new groups. You are able to make new friends. You are able to start new hobbies. You are able to join the gym, go for salsa, join a swimming team, join a cycling team, or what else? Provided it's not a drinking team, don't go after a breakup, don't go joining a team of friends where you're drinking yourselves under the table. Good relationships and good social events will be helpful. That brings us to number 5. We're at number 5. It helps you put things in perspective. You see, when you've sat down and you've realized how much you invested in that relationship, how much of your money you poured into that relationship. My brother, you could have put up a 2-bedroom house with the amount of fuel you burnt between your house and her house and taking her friends out. And should we even get into the amount of mobile money you sent? Hey, my brother, as you begin to reevaluate your situation, you will realize that you have done a foolish investment. So when it puts the relationship in perspective, you're thinking about it, you're looking at it, and you realize that no, for the next relationship I enter into, I'm not willing to commit all of this. Or sometimes you realize that because you began to engage in sex, your relationship with God was never at the same place. Because one of the sad things is no matter how you wash it, slice it or dice it, paint it, rebrand it or put it on a shelf, you never really are comfortable having sex outside marriage. So whenever you're having sex outside marriage, it affects your relationship with God. I am a person of faith. I'm coming with the faith perspective. So it affects your relationship with God. So sometimes when you come out of a relationship, you realize that you have got so far away from God. And as you put it in perspective, you tell yourself, I'm never going to allow a relationship to take the place of God in my life again. Brings us to number 6. Number 6. Now, ladies, this is the one that you really need to listen to. One of the benefits of a broken relationship is that it prevents you from wasting your time and your resources. This is my personal view about stuff. I figured out that when you go into a relationship, a lot of the time within from the 4th month to the 6th month of the relationship, relationships go through phases. You can check it out in my book, Secrets to Love and Getting Married. It goes through phases. We have the razzmatazz phase. That's like within the first 2 weeks of the relationship. You can't sleep. If you are apart, the person is on the phone. You are chatting on socials. You want to see the person. You stand at the entrance. You're going to see the person out. You stand at the entrance. You talk. The person gets home. You call. I miss you already. You know that thing you do. Yes, those things you do at the beginning of a relationship. Great. You go through that phase. But by the time you've been in the relationship for 3 months and you are getting a hang of the relationship, you are able to tell if this relationship is going to work or not. And most ladies do know. Sometimes ladies hang out in relationships because they are afraid, if I go out, if I exit this relationship, will I get another person? But it prevents you from wasting your time and your resources. Remember that your attraction is finite. When we say something is finite, that means it comes to an end. Your looks, for both men and women, and please don't say I'm sexist, but more for women than men, looks fade. All right? Your childbearing opportunities as a man and a woman begins to fade. You don't want to. So sometimes coming out of a relationship, the breakup prevents you from wasting your time. I have seen guys over and over again who date a lady for 6 years, break up with her, and 4 months later, they go and marry someone else. So probably they met the lady when she was, let's say, 26. They date her for 6 years till she's 32. They break up with her because they are both like 32. And then he goes back and finds a 25-year-old or a 24-year-old to get married to. And now the dating pool for the 32-year-old lady is smaller. It's a fact. It is smaller. So what you do is that a breakup prevents you from wasting your time in a relationship that is going nowhere. If you're listening to me right now, I'm going to talk about red flags next week. That is relationships when it is time to end a relationship. But if you're listening to me right now and you are evaluating the relationship and you realize you've been doing 2 years, and anytime you talk about, so what does our future hold? He says, only God knows the future. Then you know you have a problem. And sometimes one of the benefits of a broken relationship is that it prevents you from wasting time. Brings us to number 7. You get to know yourself better outside a relationship. You get to know yourself better outside a relationship. When you come out of a relationship, if you are taking time to evaluate what is going on, you start to understand yourself and know yourself better. So let me quickly run through. So number 7 is you get to know yourself better. Number 6 is it prevents you from wasting your time and resources. Number 5 is it helps you to put things in perspective. Number 4, it will encourage you to be more social. Number 3, it will allow you to be more independent. Number 2, breakups give you time to reevaluate your life. Number 1, it will spare you the bigger heartbreak in the future. So, hey, these are benefits. I wanted to start with the benefits so that you don't think it's all bad. Next week, I'm coming back to 10 things, 10 signs that confirm you must break up, 10 signs that confirm you must break up. Then so that's going to be episode 8. Episode 9 is going to be clean break, how to end a relationship nicely. how to end a relationship nicely. Then the final one in the breakup series will be in episode 10, which is how to recover. Sorry, episode 11, which is going to be how to recover from a breakup or a broken heart. How to recover from a breakup or a broken heart. So saddle up, fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be an awesome time. So then again, this is the Marriage Clinic podcast. It's a podcast that's supposed to help you with love, relationships, and personal development. My name is Joshua Mogri. Please look for me on all socials. Look for Dr. Joshua Mogri on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and all the socials that you are on. You will find me. Like, follow, send me a friend's request if it's possible, and we will be able to connect. If you do have questions or things you want me to address in the Q&A session we'll be having from time to time, please put the questions in the comment section and we will get to you and get back to you. So thank you so much. God bless you. I really do want to, let me just say a prayer for people who may be hurting right now. Let's pray before we end this. Father in heaven, we commit everybody who is going to be listening to this into your hands. We pray for those who are specifically going through a painful time, either a period of confusion, not knowing if they should come out of a relationship or give it some more time. And for those who have come out of a painful relationship, we ask that your grace will be with them, your strength will be with them. Hold their hand, direct them through this period. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen. So God bless you. Take good care of yourself and see you next week for the next Marriage Clinic podcast.